Today on the newscast, as the shadow war between Israel and Iran ignites, how will the intelligence services of the region be affected? Will Jordan or Turkey get sucked into the vortex? Get all the breaking details next. Hey, folks, welcome to the newscast. We had a pretty eventful newscast yesterday, laying out the latest developments in the shadow war between Israel and Iran, including an Iranian drone strike against a major Israeli-owned oil tanker off the coast of Oman that we reported here first. You can check it out in our archives. Now today we want to dig deeper into the intelligence aspects of this shadow war because things are really heating up and could quickly get out of control. Look, there are two major flashpoints right now. Number 1, Iran's nuclear program and the possibility that they will cross that nuclear threshold and develop the capability to build a bomb. And number 2, the Iranian proxy network surrounding Israel. That ring of fire that surrounds Israel right now from Yemen in the south to Gaza in the southwest through Lebanon in the north, Iraq and Syria to the east, and those various Shiite militias armed to the teeth with rockets and missiles pointed at every inch of Israel. We call that Iran's escalation ladder. Israel has carried out hundreds if not thousands of airstrikes over the past few years against Iranian and Hezbollah targets inside Syria. But they have not struck inside Iran itself. That red line has not been crossed yet. If it were to be crossed, look for major blowback from Iran. It would escalate things to a whole other level. So that's why Israel has been so careful. They've laid out what they call their nuclear vision, saying, look, we will not allow Iran to acquire the bomb. At the same time, they say publicly, we will not allow Iran to acquire the bomb. But they do and say that they will not strike inside Iran to take out Iran's nuclear facilities. So it's a very delicate balance for Israel. How do you deter Iran? That's the big question. What Iran says publicly is very different than what it does behind the scenes. Again, think back to that strike that we reported on yesterday where Iran said, hey, we didn't do it. And yet all the evidence points to the fact that Iran did carry out that attack against that Israeli-owned tanker. And we suspect Iran is lying in wait to do more attacks like that, maybe even against Israeli-owned tankers transiting through the Strait of Hormuz, perhaps targeting Israeli or U.S. ships in the Persian Gulf or the Gulf of Oman. That brings us to the covert aspect of this war. We've called it the covert war within a war. Think cyber attacks, assassinations, sabotage. That's where we are right now, and that's where things are going to heat up, folks. Just this week, a top Islamic Revolutionary Guards Corps officer traveled to Turkey to reportedly meet with the head of Hamas in the Gaza Strip. And word on the street is that they were discussing a possible ground war, a full-blown invasion of Israel by Iranian proxies. Now, thankfully, that meeting apparently fell apart. There was some kind of disagreement between Hamas and the IRGC, but who knows if that will come to fruition down the line. The goal of Iran is clearly to open a second front in the north alongside Gaza, along the Israel-Lebanon border. Hezbollah is poised to do just that. And we know that the Iranian regime is itching for a chance to get involved in this conflict directly. But again, it is that red line that Israel has drawn, that red line that says, look, if you get involved directly, we will respond in kind. We will go after your nuclear facilities. We will go after your ballistic missile stockpiles. We will go after your command and control centers. That's the only way deterrence makes sense, folks, is if you have credible threats backed up by action. And remember, Israel operates in a much more crowded neighborhood than the United States, which is why Israel feels compelled to take out Iran's nuclear facilities before it's too late. Folks, we are in uncharted waters right now. The situation is very fluid and could really explode at any moment. As we wrap up here, one last thought. This shadow war being fought between Israel and Iran is a massive destabilizing force in the region with ripple effects throughout the Middle East. It is a tinderbox that has been lit. The wars in Gaza, Yemen, and Lebanon have caused a tremendous humanitarian catastrophe. Millions have been displaced. The neighboring countries that are hosting these refugees like Jordan and Egypt are stretched to their breaking point. Even Turkey is feeling the strain. Remember, Turkey has some 4 million refugees in that country as well. This war economy that has been created is ruining economies. Look at Lebanon, for example, crippled, devastated, unable to reconstruct because of the fighting. Even Yemen, which was already on the edge of starvation, now millions more face starvation as that country continues to be ravaged by war. On tomorrow's Watchman newscast, we will break down the latest from the battle for Jerusalem and the Temple Mount. That is also a front in this larger war between Israel and Iran. It may seem like a world away, but it certainly is not. Thanks so much for joining us here today on the Watchman newscast. Until tomorrow, God bless you, and remember, never hold your peace. Hey, everyone, thanks for checking out the newscast. If you enjoyed this episode and want to see more, make sure you go ahead and hit the like button, click subscribe and tap the bell icon to turn on notifications for new episodes every weekday.